Welcome to episode 49 of Cue the Duck Boats. First of all, Connor got on the sticks. He got on his little keypad and he mashed away. And we have a brand new intro, and I loved it. That got me going. Got me going.
What can I say? I'm a rookie at it, so it's not perfect. But
some would say he's the songbird of our generation, but not all.
It came out all right for my first try.
Yeah, I think you did
I'm pretty happy with it.
Bang on job. It's been I think pretty much 2 weeks since we've sat down and talked. We got through the holiday season, and now we're back to our regular scheduled programming. Yeah, 2 weeks since we've had an episode, but 3 since we really sat down. We banked the other one. Glad to be here, guys. Kev, as usual, can you get us started off with a number 49 in the National Hockey League?
Yeah, some guy named Sam Girard.
Who's he play for, Kev?
Colorado Avalanche.
Hey, he's not really some guy. He's actually a pretty good defenseman, but that's okay, buddy. Glad to be here, though. Really glad. How was your guys' holiday?
I'm out here for bonus points. Do you know who he was drafted by?
No.
Jake?
Philadelphia Flyers. Wrong.
Nashville Predators.
Nashville Predators. Who was he traded for?
I believe he was involved in the three-way trade for Duchesne.
Oh.
If I'm not mistaken.
That would be a track that could be possible. I like it. We'll go with that. We'll act like we know. Good. How was everybody's New Year? Everybody's Christmas? I know we haven't talked since, guys. Anything wild happen? Anything good? Anything bad, Kev?
I mean, I spent New Year's with you, so that was pretty bad.
Oh, that's kind of sad for you to say. Connor, how was your New Year's?
New Year's all right. I mean, nothing crazy, just kind of the same old. But I think I know a couple guys here who had some exciting experiences over that weekend.
Yeah, no, we definitely had a good time. I mean, we can jump right into it. Let's get into the dirty water, and we'll talk about Kevin and I's little experience at the old Winter Classic. So pop the Winter Classic graphic up on the screen for all of our YouTube listeners. Kevin and I were at the Classic, and we'll get into it. It was a great time. The Winter Classic, the production that the Bruins and the NHL and the Penguins put on was awesome. Just from even just before where we get there, we're walking around the streets of Boston, and we're like, it sounds like someone's playing Sam Hunt really loud. And then we get close to the TNT breakaway stage, and Sam Hunt's actively playing. That was pretty cool. Get to hear a little Sam Hunt. Got to walk around. The city was absolutely buzzing. And I think the venue was great. It was absolutely grete. What's up, Connor? You got something for us?
To put a bow on what we were saying earlier, yes, I was correct. Sam Girard was sent from Nashville to Colorado in the Duchesne trade. That was also the same trade that they got Bowen Byram from Ottawa. Good
trade. That trade changed the face of that changed their franchise and won them a Stanley Cup.
Just wanted to put a bow on that.
Yeah, those two defensemen very much so helped them win a cup. So that is true. But yeah, back to the Classic. We overall had a great time. I think the biggest issue for us at the Winter Classic was viewpoints. We got more expensive seats down low thinking that we were some sort of geniuses. And in reality, the NHL just builds the rink up 6 feet so you can't see anything unless you're in the cheaper seats. So for the next time we go to Winter Classic, we'll be higher. Yeah, or you're tall. Like Kev had a much better viewpoint than me. I don't know, Kev, how was your experience at the Classic?
It was a good time. We did stay sober, so we'd enjoy the experience.
Yeah, we did.
Luckily, it wasn't cold, so the weather, we could have asked for better weather.
Yeah, we really didn't even drink because we wanted to like experience it and really get to see it. It was super cool. We went to Game On for a couple drinks, and then we went to Cask and Flagon. I'm gonna have a moment on Cask and Flagon. Went to Cask and Flagon. I understand it was a busy day. Kevin and I sat at the bar, and it took us a half hour to get one drink.
And we had seats.
And we had seats. We were trying to order food, just was not an option. The bartender, anyone who was a female, it was like getting food, free pretzels, 6 beers. Kevin and I and these poor 2 old men who were sitting with us, we couldn't get a drink. We couldn't get food. We couldn't get anything.
Like a girl came, sat down 10 minutes after we'd been standing there.
She was eating.
And then she got food before I even got offered what I wanted to drink.
People were so mad. They were just walking out. So that was frustrating, but that wasn't exactly the Classic fault, you know. But I think my favorite moment of the game, other than when DeBrusk scored the second goal, that place erupted like insane. That was awesome. And that one we actually saw. He broke in. We really only had a view of like the Bruins offensive zone directly in front of the net. So DeBrusk shot, we actually got to see go in the net. So that was pretty cool. Fenway was underprepared. I will say that.
How so?
They ran out of food, beer, everything.
Okay, so timeout. We're going to compare my 2019 Winter
Was
Classic
it
because I
worse?
went to the Notre Dame one. They
Yeah.
ran out of beer and food before the first period started.
Oh, never mind. We were talking third period. There was no food left. There was just waters everywhere. They weren't telling anyone until you get to the front of the line. So we're like getting to the front of the line. They're like, sorry, no sausages left. And the only menu item was sausages. It's like, oh, cool. But we ended up finding one. So I guess my complaint there is kind of null. But
From my
Fenway did a good job.
understanding, it happens every time.
Yeah.
Because it's a standalone event, so they don't like go crazy with it.
It's like, but it's literally the Super Bowl for the NHL during the season. It's like maybe step that up a bit.
Yeah.
The Jets flying over Fenway was amazing. That was awesome. That was a cool moment. They did a great job. The Black Keys were really good.
That was awesome. Everything.
Yeah. Overall, the NHL did an amazing job.
They love fireworks. The fireworks.
Oh, there's a ton of fireworks.
Nonstop.
A lot of daylight fireworks that were kind of like,
it was great.
Sick. But
it was
cool
Weezer that was one of the musical performances.
That's pretty cool.
At mine. But they broke it up for that classic. It was like 3 different acts, like for each different stoppage.
Yeah, we had like the Boston Pops. We had these 3 like hip hop guys. We had Todd Angeli. And we had the Black Keys. And then Sam Hunt was outside. So they did a good job music wise. The merch was fantastic. I really think they did a great job. It was
the merch. Actually, I just saw an article from ESPN's Greg Wyshynski last night. I haven't read it yet, but I saved it so I could read it. That the merch sales for this Winter Classic broke all of the records.
They had some cool stuff. Like
they
had
were
some cool shirts. We didn't buy anything because we didn't really want to carry bags around. It's like for that stuff. I bought a hat that was cool. Like they had like
we got pucks.
Sewn on patch. We got pucks. We got Connor a puck. I got to ship to him. But it was just it was a good time. I'm excited for the next one. I would assume
almost bought a Scally cap.
Yeah, I know. Almost got Kev for a podcast Scally.
Yo, do you recall when Bruce Cassidy was the coach of the Bruins and they had the outdoor games, the coat that he would wear?
Oh, it was so diesel.
Yeah, a Letterman jacket.
They had Letterman jackets like that there that were actually pretty legit.
They did, and I signed up. It was through Jaeger. Like we had to go do like a hardest shot thing, and they handed me a 10 flex children's stick.
Nice.
They had adult sticks. It was all adults in line. All the lefty sticks were adult size. The righty stick was that, and I was like, Kevin, if I shoot right now, this is going to snap in half. And
I told him to snap it.
I didn't do that. I was a respectful gentleman, but that's how you got the Letterman jacket. So if you did that, you entered in a thing to win a Letterman. So we did that for that, but we didn't win, I don't think.
Damn.
Yeah. Never got
they were giving out free shots of Jaeger, but nobody wants that, I don't think. So we bypassed those. Overall, great time. But sadly, something unfortunate did happen in the Winter Classic.
Oh, Lord.
Jake DeBrusk put his balls on the line for the Boston Bruins.
Wow. Whoa. He's not the one.
Okay, that's fine. He put his leg on the line for the Boston Bruins.
We'll talk about the balls later. So if you're interested in balls talk, stick around for the Western Conference.
He put his leg on the line. He went out there. He was a warrior. And tell us what happened, Connor, our resident doctor.
Yeah, right. He didn't break. He fractured his fibula. And the team is estimating him to be out at minimum 4 weeks. They placed him on LTIR already and called up none other than Chris Wagner.
The Wags. I'm super excited to see Wags back.
So much for having him on the pod this month.
Which, side note, we actually were having the discussion about who we were going to have on from the P Bruins this month.
We wanted him.
And Chris Wagner made the short list. And I said, let's, teaser alert, go for Fabian Lysell, fresh out of the World Junior Tournament.
Yeah, we're working on that.
And thank God we did.
Happens. I know, because Wags, that would have been tough because Wags is going to be up there. I did like it's so funny. They're asking Wags questions about coming up and playing at the NHL level. He played 320 games. And these guys are all his best friends. It's he knows what to expect. He's I know what to expect. Are you comfortable in the locker room? Yeah. Comfortable in the locker room.
Played last year in the playoffs. So it's
and these guys are his boys. It's not I think
they probably still have him in the text chat.
Yeah,
he just has to look at where they're going on all these days off in different cities, and he's great.
Did you hear what he was most happy about? He was I had a killer breakfast, and I don't have to ride the bus anymore. He's so happy to get off the bus. But I mean,
wouldn't you?
that's good. Yeah, no, I'm very happy. Here's what I'm going to say right now, and I believe this. Chris Wagner is going to take Nosek's spot.
I hope so. I posted that on Twitter the other day that I hope
Nosek
that
hasn't
he
won a
comes
face-off in
and
3
does that.
games. He hasn't won a face-off in 3 games.
Literally hasn't won a face-off in 3 games?
I listened to Morning Brew this morning. No free shout-outs, but free shout-out. And they said that. I don't know if that's fact, but I believe them. They kind of watch a lot, pretty close.
I mean,
like,
they
yeah,
are Nesson analysts, so I would hope
Yeah.
they know what they're talking about because they
Yeah,
probably have a guy giving them that stat.
Yeah, from a truck. Correct. They have a producer that isn't the 3 of us. I mean, Nosek just I think Chris Wagner brings more to the table. And you're
Nosek is
sure,
just a really good penalty killer. That's the thing. But
He
Chris
is, but
Wagner
want to
kills
know who's
penalties too.
just as good? Chris Wagner.
Do
Want
you
to know
know
who can
who's
fight?
even better? Jake DeBrusk.
Yeah, we kind of just brushed over that weirdly. So yeah, DeBrusk is going to be out. We're looking at 4 weeks minimum right now, which is super unfortunate. I got a little genuinely sad about it. Obviously, Jake's a guy that I've banged the drum for even when I was back writing. He's playing his best year, and I think he's confident enough where he's going to come out and keep doing what he was doing. But it just absolutely sucks. It just sucks. It's the worst time for him, and I think all 3 of us genuinely were sad because we're all huge Jake DeBrusk fans. So it just sucks.
I mean, my sadness was really spicy sadness because he's also on my fantasy team who has half of my decent players on the IR right now. So it's a pretty miserable season.
That is tough. That's tough. I'll be in first place soon. Talking about fantasy, at this moment for me, I won Kevin and I's fantasy football league. Kevin took 3rd place. I took 1st place. So slow clap for us. Nice. That's good content. DeBrusk out. What do you think that does to the team? What are your optimal 4 lines? Connor can go first, then Kevin.
I think that we're going to see a trade sooner than later.
I've heard that.
That's going to shake some things up, and we're going to have a body that's brought in to play a top 6 role.
What about the free one that was on the market the other day? Don't forget to talk about him.
Verana? Well, unfortunately, that was before.
We'll wait till the Salt of the East.
Yeah, I mean, that was before the DeBrusk injury, so, I mean, whatever. They didn't know at that point how long it was going to be or how serious it was going to be, so
I actually saw someone from that Gold and Black Hockey website. I think they reported something, but it was wrong. It was about a foot or something, and then it ended up being his leg. It's what? It's guys, don't jump on medical reports before you know what you're talking about. It's pathetic.
Yeah. Jump in the gun, but I mean, some people...
What was it? It was gold. It was Golden Hockey Night or something. They jumped on it, and it was super weird. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I think black and gold is what you're looking for.
No, maybe teal and green. I can't tell, but let's pump the brakes Bruins media people who don't know what you're talking about with injuries on reporting on guys' injuries. Number one, that just caused added stress to them who are trying to figure out what's going on with them, and they're probably getting second opinions. So let's pump the brake what someone in Southie tells you happened.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. People in our realm aren't getting fed the inside details on a consistent basis. If you get a little cookie from somebody who you've built a relationship with, that's great. But let's be honest.
Injury related, let's pump the brakes.
Yeah. I mean, me personally, I don't want to speculate on any injuries. I'll let the team announce that.
Right.
Trades, speculate away. Trades, contracts, speculate away.
For an injury, we also have a picture of DeBrusk in the walking boot. That could be a handful of things.
Could be a sprained big toe.
Right. Exactly. It could be anything.
Nope. He could have just been wearing it to be a troll.
Yeah, that time that Kev sprained his pinky toe, he was out. He was in a walking boot for 2 weeks,
That was painful, man.
Back to the lines. Sorry, Connor.
So back to the lines. Assuming no trade, because we would be speculating on who the person coming in would be. I would like to see a top line of Brad Marchand, Patrice Bergeron. I know it's already announced that Pasta is going to go there, but I don't think it's going to be a long-term thing. I would rather see Zaka play in that spot.
Exactly.
Agreed. 100% agree.
That's what I was right on my
Then I would like to see the same second line as far as Hall, Krejci, and Pasta. Then have a third line of Foligno, Coyle, and Frederick, which you've seen.
100%.
And then for my fourth line, Greer, No
Just
Sick and
do it.
Wagner.
No, Wags and
Wagner.
Smith is even better before Smith gets traded.
Then there would be no center on that line.
No, Wags is a center. Wags is great face. Yes, he is. Wags is a center, and he's great at faceoffs.
He's been
100%.
listed as a right wing or left wing in the NHL for
Wags
years.
is 100% a center. Wags is a center, and he's great at faceoffs. He plays center down in Providence. That was what Monty talked about it. How he's been like great at faceoffs. They talked about it on Morning Brew too.
He's never played center in the NHL recently.
Yeah, he has. He played. He moved around on that fourth line. He 100% played center. I promise. Wags is a good center. He can like win faceoffs.
Yeah, he's still listed as a right wing too.
Yeah, I actually wouldn't even be surprised if you see him deployed at center. But the like he plays center down, and I'm almost sure he plays. Now I'm questioning myself, but they were talking about it on Morning Brew. So unless they're just feeding me bad info, then that'd be kind of tough. But at the same time, I agree with those lines more or less. I do. That's what I want for the top three lines. I think Foligno's earned that third line spot right now, and he's done nothing to prove he shouldn't be there. Trent Frederick, we'll get into him now. Trent Frederick is finally doing what I've been saying he's going to do for the last 3 years. It's finally happening. The Trent Frederick breakout has started, and we're seeing him be an impact player in games. He's big, he's fast, he has a good shot, and people don't want to mess with him. That's a pretty good combination. And I think that, like, listen to – did you guys see Foligno's comments about Freddie, either of you?
No.
Did you, Connor?
Mm-mm.
He was like, he's breaking out. They're like, and he's about to be a very, very good player in the NHL. That's like the third guy. Coyle said the same thing. They're like, you're about to see the Trent Frederick that we all know exists. They've also all came out, and when they were doing all their interviews for the Classic, people were like, who's the best athlete? They're all like, Trent. Every person was like, Trent. So I guess like he's like one of the strongest guys, one of the best athletes, and now he's finally confident. That ties it all into a topic that we kind of went back and forth on before. Jim Montgomery, from every one of these guys who is playing better and breaking out, they all say the same thing. He's a great guy. They love him, and they're playing free. I think Monty has been the best coach in the NHL this year by doing the least amount of coaching. Do you guys agree with that? I think he's let them play. He's let guys be creative and be the players they're supposed to be, not be square pegs jammed into a round hole by that guy who used to wear the varsity jacket.
Fair.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. It's like he understands, like, they're professionals. They're some of the best players in the world.
Still not going to win the Jack Adams.
Yeah, but when you have like players,
you don't
like
think so?
Bergeron and Krejci,
I do. I think I think he's going to run away with the Jack Adams.
Well, I'll go into that.
Let's bet on it. We'll do a podcast bet. We'll do a podcast bet.
I didn't want to cut Kevin off. You cut Kevin off.
Jake's used to it, doesn't care.
Oh.
Well, Kevin, say your point, buddy.
No, I just think like when you have veterans, like you have Bergeron, you have Krejci, you guys like Pasta, Marchand, Montgomery understands that these guys, they're going to police themselves, they're going to coach themselves. You really don't need to coach those guys up, and they're going to take everyone else, and they're going to make, like at the Winter Classic, they talk about it was Nick Foligno going to that third period that gave the speech that got the boys going and got them right back into that game. It wasn't Montgomery having to sit them down. It was Foligno. It was these guys that have been here. They know what they're talking about. He's like, all right, you guys do you. I'm just here. And that's what you love to see.
Connor, who's your Jack Adams winner?
Rick
Lindy
Bonus.
Ross. What?
Rick Bonus.
Okay.
Nobody
I don't think you're
anything.
No, I think Bonus has just as good of a chance as Montgomery. I won't. He came into a dysfunctional locker room, changed the captains. People thought they were going to be a dumpster fire organization this season, and they are the complete opposite. Are they in first place right now in their division?
Second.
They are, right?
Second. But they just had like 5 of their starting roster players hurt, all returned from injury.
Well, we'll get more into that in a bit. If you want to talk about nuts, we'll get more into that in a bit. But I won't completely disagree there. I think that they'll both be in the running. I think Monty's story might help a little more with him getting that. You know what I mean? But we'll see.
But how loaded of a talented team he walked into is going to hurt him.
Yeah. There's no doubt. I can't make a thing that Winnipeg's as talented as Boston because they're just not.
Yeah.
But they're not bad. Not a bad
really
team,
good.
but they're not the same caliber team. That kind of wraps it up for the Bruins, right, guys? You got anything else? We'll jump right into the Salt of the East and we'll get a little Salt Day. Kevy boy, lead us off with the Salt of the East. I know you have some big feelings on John Tortorella. Talk about Torts.
I was gonna say, guy's a clown. Like but it's funny because it's like
It's funny.
If I was a
Clowns
player,
are funny.
if I was a player, I'd never want to like play for him. But it's just like the guy's a media clown. It's awesome. The sound bites, everything. And sometimes he's not like the NHL All Stars. He's not wrong about that. He was right about that. But everything else, dude's a clown. You know.
Yeah, have you guys heard other NHL players like on multiple various podcasts talk about Torts and how they're like, no, like he's a joke. Like guys like don't want to play for him at this point.
It's like, who would?
Like scratching Kevin Hayes when he's having literally the best season of his career. Just like to try to like get the boys going. It's like, what are you doing, man?
29 points in 31 games. And
yeah, they're not responding well. Like no one in that locker room is like, hey, scratch our best player, sick. Like
just because you don't like his defensive style. He's like, Kevin's like, he goes, you think I go out there and try to play bad defense? He goes, no, I do the best I can.
Dude, like you think, dude, Pasta would get scratched by Torts. Torts and Pasta would hate each other so much. Like I think he would get scratched.
But that's what Philadelphia needs. They're a mess. Like your players can't run your organization, and that's what's happening. That's why they brought Torts in my opinion. They have a horrible mix of players in Philadelphia. Horrible mix.
Yeah, it's definitely not the right mix. I mean, I don't fear Philly in the slightest, but I just think that he's kind of his style isn't ever going to resonate with the younger guys. So like, can you really rebuild with him? I don't know. Can you go in and he can absolutely mess everything up enough to just make the fan base get on board with the rebuild? Yes, that I think can happen.
Like, no offense to Kevin Hayes, but it should be embarrassing that he's your best player.
He is not a superstar player. Guy.
I don't care what anybody says.
He's not a superstar.
He should not be your best player.
He's not a superstar. He's an elite player. On the Boston Bruins, he would be behind the whole first line. I don't think Kevin Hayes is not better than DeBrusk, Bergeron, Marchand. He's not better than Krejci. He's not better than Hall. He's not better than Pasta. And I don't know that I'd take him over Trent Frederick at this point in their careers.
I wouldn't take him over Frederick or Coyle.
Yeah, but over Foligno and the rest of them, yeah. He is a .96 point per game player, but he's not that on the Bruins. It is Kevin Hayes one-on-one with a goalie is very elite, very good. But there are a lot of flaws in his game on that. I don't disagree at all with that. He's not a superstar player. He's elite. He's elite. He's a good, really, really good third line center, second line wing. But
he's an all-star, baby.
He is an all-star, and he should be. Because on his team, he should be an all-star. Because we'll get right into it. The all-star system is the dumbest thing on planet Earth. The fact that there's to be an all-star from every team is a joke. The fact that David Pastrnak is not a shoe-in all-star or Hampus Lindholm is a joke. Hampus Lindholm is literally a top 4 defenseman in the East. So is Charlie McAvoy. Because of McAvoy's injury, I'm okay with him not going to the All-Star game this year. David Pastrnak is literally the best player in the Eastern Conference right now. Who would you take over David Pastrnak in the East?
Nobody.
Like, there's no argument to be made. How he's not just like the face of the All-Star game is bananas. You know the NHL is going to mess with those votes if the fans don't do it themselves. But Pasta's going to the All-Star game.
Most likely. We'll see. If not,
he should be. It makes no sense.
Dude, the NHL is doing everything they can to make him the face of any event.
Unless he doesn't want to. What if he just tells them, like, yo, I don't want to go?
Yeah, Ovi, every time he gets elected, is like, God damn it. Because
nobody's voting Ovi in.
Ovi's in. He's in.
He's in already?
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah, he's in.
That's what I mean. But he ain't going. Nobody wants to see him there.
I don't know. I wonder if he does go just because, he's chasing his record and he needs good PR. But Ovechkin historically, actively doesn't want to be at the All-Star game. Tries to be the last. Remember when they did the stupid draft? That was so stupid. The All-Star game's a joke. What the All-Star game should be, Connor, you do it. I know you had ideas for this.
So I will be forefront honest that I do not follow the NBA whatsoever, but I have listened to lot of content.
What's the NBA?
Yeah. I don't know. According to Brad Marchand, it is a league with a bunch of sissies in it. However, yes. So he was asked about load management in the NHL. He goes, "What do you think this is, the NBA?" So there's no load management here. However, I do think the NBA does something right, and that is their all-star process. They do not take any kind of vote from the fans, and they do not take a representative from every team. It is strictly the best players that are there to entertain. And the skills competition, I believe it's basically just their dunk competition. They bring in whomever to participate, and that's where your Trevor Zegras, like last year in the NHL skills competition, came in. Just do that. Fill the skills competition with a bunch of random people who have been doing really good this year, and then make the All-Star game truly the best players. Straight up. In their position, just go from it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Like I look at it and it's like the 3-on-3 is a joke.
Who's
The not
LeBron
best
James?
players being there is a joke. And it's just like there's so many things that could be done better. Like the All-Star game should be like the Winter Classic. It should be a spectacle to grow the game. It's not that. Most hockey fans, like my dad, I would assume all three of our dads, right? Is your dad a hockey fan, Connor?
Yes, he does.
They ain't watching the All-Star game. That is just like it's maybe my dad will watch some of the All-Star game.
I don't even watch it.
The skills competition. It's like my dad ain't watching the skills competition.
I enjoy the skills competition more than the game.
Yeah, me too. But some parts of it get too gimmicky. Like I don't want to see him shoot meat burgers into crocodiles. It's like let's go back to the.
I want to watch that. Like, that's awesome.
Like show me some real skills.
Like actual skills, right? Like. I don't want to see them.
Do you remember back in the day?
On the fountains, the Bellagio fountains are the big show. It's like, dude.
Do you remember back in the day? There was like a 30-foot stretch that Patrick Kane put together, where there was a gap between posts about this big for him to put the puck through, and he went back and forth through all of these for like 30 feet, and then did a breakaway with a little like Superman cape on or whatever, and scored the goal on the goalie.
Yes,
like that shit is entertaining to me.
Yes, yeah. Or early day Ovi and just showing his skills, or even Bergeron with the accuracy shooting. Remember when Bergeron just like used to go 4 for 4? Like those, but the thing is like the NHL
as Zdeno Chara come in and just absolutely hammer bombs.
But those guys, I fully believe like if you put a team of the old guard all-stars versus the new guard all-stars, the old guard all-stars would kick the shit out of them in a hockey game.
Do you want to know what would be a really interesting idea if the NHL didn't turn into a bunch of sissies? Imagine having like an enforcer gladiator style like skills competition where they have to themselves say like, I want to participate in this. And it's like almost like an MMA card, right? Where they just duke it out against each other. And then there's, a winner crowned and they get the golden boxing gloves. Or the golden hockey mitts, whatever, something silly like that would be funny.
It's a thing, right?
Entertaining.
It's a thing, right?
Yeah, but it's not.
Ice Wars.
Yeah,
it's not it's with all ex enforcers. It would be kind of. I don't know that we
don't want mafia related.
Ovi might show for that
All-Star game.
Yeah, we're not. AJ Galante blew us off, so he never has an invite back. But that's still. I'm kidding. I didn't really mean that. He said yes and never answered another email. But that being said, whatever. I don't like to throw shade on people, but you know what? Maybe I will. All-Star game. We hate it. It sucks.
You've done it twice. Podcast.
Yeah, we hate it. It sucks. Our last topic in the Salt of the East.
However, time out.
Well,
however, if we're gonna talk shade, we should at least like throw some people some love.
Yeah. Okay. Do it. Throw some people some love.
Jake, go ahead and tell the people about one of the peeps that you're talking to right now about coming on the podcast this month.
Yeah, a guy who's pretty much been an inspiration to I think all three of us in hockey, Jeff Marek, has agreed to at some point come on the podcast. Obviously, with Jeff Marek, we will be as flexible as possible. He's definitely someone who's been an inspiration to all of us, so we are working on that one. He's super busy right now because it is the heart of the NHL season, obviously. So we're going to work with him on getting him on. And we have some other cool guests like who work for ESPN and things like that coming on soon. You want to talk about that, Connor? But we're pretty excited.
So another one that we were going to have on, Greg Wyshynski from ESPN. We were supposed to have him on right before Christmas, but some things worked out. He got sent on a last-minute trip by ESPN, and we had to reschedule. So we plan on having him on later this month. And then if all things line up, we are currently in discussions of having on one Fabian Lysell, fresh off the World Juniors, to come on and talk about his career and some of his recent experiences and his aspirations in the NHL.
Yeah, so pretty exciting stuff coming out with the future of the pod. So that's some positive guest-related news. Trouble in paradise in New Jersey. It's been a topic for the last 3 weeks. I would say we're New Jersey haters at this point, but as long as we're all in it together, then
I'm not a New Jersey hater.
Neither am I. I want them to be good. I do. I like Jack Hughes. I want him to be good.
What really rubbed me the wrong way at the beginning of the season when the Bruins and the Devils were neck and neck, everybody from New Jersey Devils land had started acting like they'd never fucking been here before. And we're like, oh my God, we're the best team in the league by a point. And the Bruins still have 2 games in hand. I said,
Mackenzie Blackwood and Vitek Vanacek are your goalies.
Whoa. You guys need to calm this down. You are a mediocre franchise who just gives away and comps more tickets than God himself.
You can buy Devils tickets at a Costco.
Yes. No, they legitimately, this is a fact. They comp the most tickets out of any team in the NHL. Fact.
Damn.
People do not want to go to their games.
No, they talked about that on Chicklets. They had gone to a game and they're like, for a team this good, it's a fun atmosphere, but you guys got to get people in those seats.
We should have went to Jersey for the Bruins games.
Yeah, it was cheap. I think we probably get in there for like $50, somewhere around there, maybe even less.
And get decent seats.
Yeah.
But then so, go to Jersey, you know? Ugh.
Exactly. That's why they have to give away so many tickets. But that aside, I mean, you would hope that your team being good would change that. Hopefully being good consistently will change that. But look at the Florida Panthers. They've been good a couple of years in a row before all of this shenanigans. And they still didn't improve. And now they're kind of back down the downslope again.
Yeah, and could have a top 10 pick that's going to go to – who's it going to, Connor?
Montreal.
Montreal. It's just crazy.
Bleu, Blanc, et Rouge.
Montreal has a chance to be a wagon. We're going to get in more of it into the West because it's just where it's going, because I want to get to the Wild West because I want to get nuts for the Wild West. Do you guys want to get nuts for the Wild West? Let's get nuts for the Wild West.
Nuts.
Uh-oh.
As I said earlier today, and then I'll let you guys go with it, this is all I'm going to say in this topic. Blake Wheeler put his nut on the line. Which one of you guys wants to talk about it? I wrote
an article about it last night.
Ooh, dog.
So,
dog.
Yeah, no, back on December 15th, Blake Wheeler blocked a shot from his teammate, Josh Norrisy, if you will. Anyway. Yeah, it ended up kind of slicing Wheeler right in his genitalia, and he split open a testicle. Everyone knew he had to have groin surgery, but no one really knew the extent of it. But he had a ruptured testicle, and he was set to be out 8 weeks, but he came back last night and made his return from his groin surgery. So that's tough. That's painful. As a man, I can only imagine what it must feel like to have your testicle ruptured.
Kevin, you had a friend that had a ruptured nut playing what? Lacrosse goalie?
Yeah, lacrosse goalie.
Yeah, that's something I'd rather make it through life never having happened. So I'm hoping
he didn't realize breaking a nut. Yeah, he didn't realize it was ruptured, and he went on the airplane. So then the pressure of it.
Would you go as far as saying his nut busted?
He said it was the worst pain he ever felt.
What is it, like the altitude just popped it? I had such a nightmare. I don't want to talk about it. None of us are doctors and we know how it works.
Ouch. But it's making me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't like it. I'm like, I don't want to. Blake's nut, everybody. Round of applause for Blake's nut.
But he's back.
Too bad he doesn't have a C on the front of his jersey for that one.
I know. Ranger Rick Bonus stole it. 2024 Winter Classic. Connor, make the announcement. Who's it going to be?
It is going to be your Vegas Golden Knights versus the Seattle Kraken at T-Mobile Park in Seattle. Where
Jake and I will be there.
You guys gonna go?
Maybe. Yes. We talked about it. We might go.
I'll be wearing a Matty Beniers jersey because he's gonna win the Calder this year. And
Might
maybe
take vacation
So-
out to Washington for New Year's.
Here's a little nugget, and I've heard this from 3 different areas of the hockey world, that the one reason the Seattle Kraken did not do a previous Seattle team's iteration of their jersey for the reverse retro
It's because of this.
They
is
already
because
knew.
this was already in discussion, and they wanted to save it for that.
What were they? The
Good on
Metropolitans?
them.
I think
Seattle Metropolitans?
Yeah.
I think so. Before my
That's
time,
pretty cool.
obviously.
No, yeah, it's for mine too, but it just I'd heard that. So that's gonna be pretty cool. I'm definitely excited for that. I think Seattle.
Now, what does
like,
Vegas do for a retro jersey, right?
I don't know. Maybe just they're gonna do. It would be cool if they like tied in some gambling to it. If they had maybe some cards or like some chips or something on it, like something Vegasy.
Some
I wonder if
dice.
I would
NHL
rather
lets
them
that
see
happen.
go more into the knighthood.
medieval,
Like,
That'd be
yeah.
that'd be
like
kind
a
of
knight,
cool.
like
Knight
a Knights
armor.
Templar type thing.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool. Or even if they did like imagine like they did like a family crest type looking logo. Like think Game of Thrones. Think like
Oh,
Stark.
that'd be cool. Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. No, I actually love that idea. I like that way better than my gambling idea. That was stupid.
Yeah,
I
gambling
really hope
one
they
is
go with
like
that.
an all-star game jersey.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah,
but
but I.
either way, I mean, everybody's
Cool.
up in arms that holy shit, these 2 teams who are fresh in the NHL have a Winter Classic, and then they
Why?
go and they look at the revenue in the league, and they're like, oh, well,
Yeah,
these 2 teams are pretty high up on that list already.
yeah. People try to figure out. It's like why doesn't New Jersey or the Rangers get a winner? Well, the Rangers. So the Rangers had a classic. They had one.
Yes.
But
Yep.
why does New Jersey not get a classic? Guys, let me explain something to you. Look at how much money the Bruins and the Penguins generate every year. That's your answer that why 3 to 4 years from now they'll both have played in another one.
I
Because
have
their
a
fans
conspiracy
show
theory
up.
about
But
the
also, look who
2023
owns the
Classic.
Penguins and who owns Fenway Park.
Correct. There it is.
Oh, yo,
right?
that's a fact. That's not. I don't think that's a conspiracy theory.
No,
It's
no,
John
no.
Henry.
The conspiracy theory is that it was promised before he purchased the Penguins that they would
Probably.
do this to sweeten the deal.
Yeah, it's the only way you could pay for Devers' contract.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, legit. Like this just
There's no coincidence. It's like Winter Classic happens, Devers gets the contract 3 days later.
Yeah, it was like the most profitable
Like,
Winter
come
Classic
on.
ever, and then they signed Devers. He's like, oh, well, there's our luxury tax. Oh, I think it's 100% related. Like it's
That's also something that's curious that you bring up. Everybody's in the hockey realm who's like a diehard hockey fan is sick of the Winter Classic, blah, 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 blah. And this is the most successful Winter Classic for, TV ratings, merch sales, etc.
it's sick. Great.
What? I think there was 38,627 people at the Winter Classic.
which is still half
Notre Dame.
attendance as the largest on record,
What
which
is
I
the
think was
largest
like
one?
106,000.
Was it in
I think.
Michigan?
Yeah,
Yeah.
at the Big House.
Yeah.
It was
that
Toronto versus Detroit, I believe.
That's sick. Yeah. Yeah.
That's so many goddamn people.
Dude, it's crazy. And
They
wait, where-
probably ran out of beer and sausages before the pregame.
Yeah, I
warm-up.
just maybe not though. Those college dude, they're used to people just caking alcohol and food. I feel
That's
like
what happened at the Notre Dame game for
I
me.
know, and they should be just as ready because those people. I know. It is weird. I think that when people complain about the Winter Classic, like we post pictures right of our experience and stuff, and people are like angry that we were there having fun. It's simply because the hockey fans has this group of just like misogynistic, angry men who just can't afford or don't like to spend money on anything NHL related and then get mad when anyone else is like having fun. And it's like, guys, nobody cares about your opinion. Like nobody cares. Like it's the same guys who are mad that like females play sports that are mad that like Winter Classics happen. Like it's the same angry guy who's shaved his head bald with a Trump flag behind him and his blacked out sunglasses. Like it's that same guy who's mad about Winter Classics.
I
You
will
guys
admit though,
disagree?
the craziest thing was the people sitting next to Jake and I paid 10 times more than what we did for their
Dude,
tickets.
they paid $5,000, and that's when I was like, well, I'm not as sad that I can't see. Like, you know,
Because we
Wow.
really paid a couple hundred.
Yes,
and
I was like
this guy
sitting
paid
there,
$5,000.
and he's
Well,
like,
that's because you guys
he's
got
like,
them on the regular sale.
I know he's like $5,000 for these goddamn seats, and I was like,
$5,000 a piece.
I don't know. I didn't ask questions because I instantly couldn't formulate words. I was like, wow.
Did you tell them how much you paid?
No, I was like, sorry, man. I was like, oh yeah, man, that terrible.
Dude,
I
you
was like,
should
we
have.
didn't pay half of $1,000. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
good one, brother. Like, that's
I
unfortunate.
thought we paid a lot. And I was like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I know. I thought we paid a lot. And then, like, the day before the event, the worst thing that we did, the day before the event, Emma's uncle was like, hey, like, the seats around you are all selling for close to like $2,000. Why don't you sell your tickets and move up higher for like $400? And I'm like, no, it's about the experience. We're so excited to be that close and see. Come to find out, we could have pocketed like a G, bought $350 seats the day before, and been sitting there smiling ear to ear. So that was a mistake. But you live and you learn. We know for future classics, we're sitting high. Like, sitting high.
You just got to go in and buy, some
Higher
tickets
than
for the Winter
common.
Classic as soon as they come available.
Yep.
And then you just offload them closer to the game.
And you can change your seats once you know the rink orientation. 100%.
Oh, we're
'Cause
buying
like-
so many tickets next Winter Classic.
Yeah, there's money to be made on Winter Classic tickets. That's for sure. That's for sure. But it was, again, back to this. It was a great experience. Hockey fans are always angry. Let's jump out of the NHL quick. Let's jump out of the NHL and let's talk a little World Juniors, specifically one player. I know we all saw it, and I think that you can't be a hockey podcast and not talk about Connor Bedard. Connor Bedard just broke the points record for a Canadian player in the Winter Classic. I'm assuming any player in the Winter Classic in World Juniors.
Any player.
He is so good. Like, I watched him most of his games and like the highlights of it. Connor Bedard's the best player I can remember seeing in World Juniors. And I was like really hoping that it would be closer between him and Fantilli. And Fantilli looks really good. There's no one on the ice out there that's even close to his level. Like, there is Shane Wright, who played in the NHL this year a bit, and we watched him play in the NHL, scored in the NHL, is nowhere near Connor Bedard's level of hockey. He's nowhere near. A guy like Brant Clark, who's, we know is going to be a good NHL player. Dylan Guenther, nowhere near his level. Logan Cooley, who I think is the second best player in that tournament, nowhere near his level. We are seeing the next Sidney Crosby, Alex Ovechkin, McDavid type player. He's a little bit smaller, a little more dynamic.
I've heard this a lot recently. I've heard these type of comparisons for, let's see, Capo Caco, Alexis Lafreniere,
Yes,
Shane Wright, Uri Slafkovsky. I don't give a shit what Connor Bedard can do at the World Juniors, because I've been told for the last 2 years that Shane Wright is going to be fantastic, and he can't even get into a freaking NHL game to save his life at this point.
Yep. And it's hard. I explained that to Emma because we were watching the game, and I was like, that kid right there is supposed to be as good as him, but he's not. And I do, like, we were 1,000% told that Alexis Lafreniere was at that level. We were. Capo Caco, I never bought. I watched him play.
Elias Pettersson was supposed to be at that level.
No. A lot of people didn't even know about Pettersson. A lot of people didn't know about Pettersson.
This guy is going to be the future number one. He's going to be the new Sedins.
Yeah, but he didn't. I
this
think
is just how hockey culture is. Okay, let's just be.
Yes, you were right
honest.
in everything you're saying. Bedard is not the same. He's not the same. From what, like, I've watched a lot of people play at that level. I've watched World Juniors for the last 10 years. Watched most World Juniors. Bedard's different. He's a lot different. He's like McDavid. Don't get that. He's not head and shoulders above McDavid. But that's the level of player an organization is going to get. He is going to instantly change an organization.
Unless he comes into the NHL and gets absolutely smoked in one of his first games, and then it's going to start to impact.
I really don't. I'm telling you, he's
looking at Andre, obviously different players, but look at Andre Kasha early in his career. He was supposed to be very good.
No, they're not in the same world. They're not in the same world. I'm telling you.
Injury bug.
I'm telling you, they're not in the same world. Like, Connor Bedard is the best player. I said not in
the same world.
Yeah.
I said don't compare the player, but look at what happened.
Injuries. Yes, injuries can happen to anyone. But, some guys come back from them. Look at Crosby and Bergeron. Guys who survive those injuries.
But he's gonna have an absolute target all over him if he tries to do wild, fancy things and play a skilled game. He will get smoked.
He does less of that and more like he has a lot of that Crosby in him, where like when the going got tough, he was driving straight line hockey, like driving body in.
Doesn't matter to me. He's not playing against men. He's playing against children right now.
I'm gonna say as a rookie, he has 50 points minimum.
Wait until all of a sudden he's on the ice and here comes your Minnesota Wild, and Evison says, Revo, get in there, and just absolutely trucks a Connor Bedard.
But they
Something
don't do
like
that.
Like
they don't. It doesn't
for
happen
me,
like that
like,
anymore. Look at
your World
McDavid. Nobody
Juniors
ever
is
touched
shit.
him. Nobody touches McDavid.
Yes. Oh, yes. There was somebody who touched
Yeah,
McDavid early.
not
I forget
that.
who
You
it
can't
was.
catch McDavid. That's the problem.
Yeah, you can't catch Bedard either. Trust me. We'll
There
see.
was
We'll
somebody
see how it
who
goes.
caught McDavid early in his career with a borderline cheap, dirty hit that hurt him, and they were trying to throw that guy out of the league. I'm going to have to look back at
Yeah,
who
I
it
do
was.
remember something like that.
But-
Connor Bedard's going to be good. That's all I'm saying. Very good. He's going to change one of these franchises. He's going to end up in
Maybe.
where are
Arizona.
the spots we
Maybe.
picked? We think. Where do we think?
Arizona.
You think Arizona? I think.
Gary
I mean,
Bettman's
yeah,
Anaheim
Bettman's
would
be-
wish.
Anaheim would be awesome.
I do. Adam Fantilli does have a lot of Jack Eichel in him, so that'll be interesting. This is a very good draft. This draft's much better
Did
than last year.
Mitchkov get to play in the juniors? No.
No, Russia wasn't allowed to play.
Well, I know that, but I didn't know if he managed to squeak in by playing for a
No.
different team, whatever.
No. They didn't let any Russians play. Which is
I didn't
kinda-
watch a ton of it because the World Juniors doesn't matter for the NHL.
It's
in my
literally
opinion.
the best prospects in the world. The next generation NHL players playing in the tournament. It is the
I'm
number
just one of
watch
those
thing for
people
draft
who
prospects.
I don't buy stock.
Connor doesn't watch any junior level hockey or college hockey or anything like that. So that's the reality there.
I mean,
World
I'll
Juniors
read
is
some stuff
best on best.
and I'll pay attention to like what the names are. But like I
Yeah.
said, when I am hearing
You have to
about
do it at the next level.
these kids' names from their freaking 10-year-old birthday until they play in the
Yeah,
NHL, and then they go over like a fart in a windstorm, Alexis Lafreniere, I just don't care.
Yeah, we'll see how it all turns out. Bedard's different. I'm fully going with that. We already
Like,
we
I'm
already
gonna
yelled
take
in the
a
win
lot
with
of
the
hate
All-Star game.
for that take about like prospects.
Oh yeah, no,
and World
it's
Juniors and stuff, but like
it's World Juniors is definitely a high skill tournament. There's no.
I hate getting
there's no
invested
question
in
about that.
players who turn into nothing burgers.
Yeah, Bedard won't do that. But we don't need to keep going back and forth on that one. That just gets boring fast. Back to a different topic though. ESPN Plus. If you guys want to start watching all the NHL games, if you want to become diehard fans in the second half of the season, you should have ESPN Plus. So to get ESPN Plus, you got to go to insidetherink.com/ESPN. If you're on the YouTube version of this podcast, you can see it ticking across the bottom. Click on that and go over there and sign up for ESPN Plus. It helps us bring this podcast to you. And it's a great product, especially, there's just a lot of sports on there that you can get watching. You want to watch like ESPN The Ocho, that's on there. You want to watch Cornhole, it's on there.
You want to watch the Colorado Avalanche miss the playoffs? Go ahead.
Oh. How about merch, Kev? You want to talk merch?
We got merch. We're in the middle of redesigning some merch, trying to get some better merch. We understand. It's not the greatest, but we're working on it. We're trying to make it what you guys want to wear, what we want to wear on the reg. You see Jake's hat right there. That's some good merch.
I had my hat around here somewhere. I was wearing it.
We're in the
Yeah, I had it on. I'm just not taking it off. It's so comfortable. I coached. This
You
is
got
my
an
official
inside the
coaching
rink
hat.
hoodie or a Carhartt hoodie? What is that?
Oh, this is a raw gear hoodie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Probably,
sorry.
babe.
It
No
just
free
looks
ads.
gray for me.
No,
so-
yeah. No, I do wear both those pretty regularly, but today I had raw gear on. Yeah, no, I think our sweatshirts at Inside the Rink are pretty decent, and so are our t-shirts right now. We're working on changing everything. Like soon we'll be releasing a whole line of new merch. But still, anything you purchase supports us.
Inside the Rink Plus, $2.99
ITR Plus, $2.99 a month. Gonna have a interview series coming out with Connor, one-on-one with some people who are inside the NHL. That'll be
Already
announced
got
soon.
one recorded.
Yep. So that stuff will be rolling out. Thinking about maybe some t-shirt of the month clubs, maybe like some exclusive things like that. We're working on all that. So sign up early, get yourself locked in at the lower price. You know what I mean? And we'll keep it moving. And happy Saturday, happy weekend. And it was great to be back. You guys got anything? Oh, wait, we had a, what do we have? Let's place a little bet. Let's place a little bet. What do you want to do? Let's go with Montgomery. I think Montgomery wins so you want to go bonus? I'm going to go Montgomery. All right. So what are your terms? So if Jim Montgomery wins the Jack Adams, what do you have to do?
Wait, hold on. Connor's not a man of his word.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I'm waiting on snow.
I'm
waiting on snow. It was 60 degrees.
What was the bet? Bring up the bet. We got to bring this up. Bring up the bet, Kev.
I bet that Arizona
Oh yeah, that's what it was. The Coyotes. They
Who
screwed me.
would beat Colorado?
Would
Yeah.
beat Colorado. They whooped them like 5-2.
And Connor put on Twitter that he'd go out in his damn skivvies and jump into a snow pile. So yeah, we're not making a bet till you do that one.
I'm waiting on snow. It hasn't
That will
snowed
be-
enough for me to
Don't
have a
worry,
snow
guys.
pile.
That will be recorded and it'll be posted on our socials. We will
It
make
will.
sure to blur out Connor's nipples so nobody gets scared. And
will.
have a great one.